Yo, what's going on, guys? Anthony here. Welcome back to another absolute banger of a video. And in today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating exactly how I was able to scale this brand new dropshipping store all the way up to $736 in sales this past Saturday using what is, in my opinion, probably the most overpowered, most broken dropshipping strategy and setup that you can use if your main goal is to start making money with selling products online as quickly as possible. And you guys seem to really enjoy the previous video where I completely showed everything, no screen blurs or anything. So I'm doing the exact same thing in this video, which is showing you my entire store, no blurred out anything. And I'm gonna take you inside of the ad account so you can see exactly what kind of return we were able to generate. And on that 736 in sales, we spent $346. And no, I'm not hiding my campaigns. I just wanted to select the campaigns that had spent to clear up the view. But across the entire ad account, we only spent $346. And I wanted to go ahead and just clean this view up so you guys can see the campaigns that we actually spent on. And then I'm going to explain exactly how I was able to spend $346 and generate $736 in sales in testing. So we're not even scaling. This is me testing products and getting these good of results in testing. And I guarantee you there's probably very few testing strategies and setups that are going to allow you to generate this kind of return on testing with these kinds of products. So this is very exciting stuff. If I wanted to scale this, I could very easily hit $1,000 a day. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on that, because honestly, scaling is a lot easier than getting this to work in testing. But I'm going to walk through exactly what I'm doing, exactly the kinds of products I'm looking for, and then break it down and hopefully, end this video in about 10 minutes because I have a tendency to ramble. Which sucks, obviously, because I draw things out longer than they need to be. So let's walk through this entire setup and break down everything, because if you watch this video from start to finish, you will never have to pay for another course. You can literally just set this up. It takes less than 2 hours, and it's probably the easiest way to get started in dropshipping that I know of or that is available on YouTube. So let's start off with the actual products that we're selling. And again, it's no secret like what my store is and the types of products that I'm selling. But the main the first phase really of this entire setup is finding products to sell. And when you're going after non-problem solving products or products that you can't very easily market as a specific solution to a certain problem, then it is very important and critical that the actual design and the aesthetic properties of the creative are attention and eye-catching in and of themselves, because there's no marketing or desires or anything like that that we can truly leverage to be able to sell the product. And so the product almost has to sell itself. So there's a couple of things looking on AliExpress as you're going through products. Number one, the actual creative itself has to be eye-catching or attention-grabbing. So if the creative itself, if the image itself is not something that would stand out on the news feed, then don't sell it. So this is a perfect example where we see two types of products or two types of creatives that are completely emblematic of this issue that I'm demonstrating here. So on the left, we have a creative that I would go ahead and sell. As you can see, there's a very vibrant focus of the image with the cutlery there in the center. There's a gold color that's contrasted perfectly well against the black background. And then there's even some like shine or glare on the image as well. This is a perfect creative. And that type of stark contrast is something that's going to stand out on the news feed. Remember, Instagram, most people, I believe, are using it either in dark mode or in light, does Instagram come in dark mode? I actually don't even know, because I don't even use Instagram. Either way, you just want to make sure Instagram and on Facebook as well, that the image itself is going to stand out, right? This is another example too. Obviously, this is a little bit more of a trademark product, but where the actual product itself is really popping out from the image, right? So it's very attention grabbing in and of itself. And you contrast that with something like this. The image itself is not super attention grabbing. You've got two women here wearing white clothing. The background is white. It's kind of blending in. The background and the foreground are kind of blending in with each other. And then this goes into criteria number two, which is the product that is being sold is not evident on first glance. In fact, I don't really know what's being sold. In fact, it actually turns out this is only the case for what I thought they were selling. So I thought they were selling the frequency wand. They're actually just selling the case for the wand, which is pretty useless in my opinion. So that leads into criteria number two, is that you want people to basically just be able to instantly recognize what it is. So don't pick creatives that are like, for example, if you're going to sell a shirt, pick a creative where you can see the entirety of the shirt, or pick a product where you can see the entirety of the shirt. Don't select something where there's like a bunch of dudes in a crowd and, you can see the pants and all that stuff. You just want them to be basically understand and be able to perceive exactly what the product that they're buying is on a first glance. Okay. So a couple more examples of creatives that are bad. This is a good example where, again, you've got the white shoes against a white background, just blends in. This is a good example where I'm not exactly sure, what's being sold. So this strategy really works best with everyday items. Now, you can use this strategy for problem solving stuff, and this is exactly how I set up testing campaigns for problem solvers anyways. But when it comes to trying to shift into more non-problem solving stuff, which in my opinion is a little bit easier to sell on cost caps because you can test as much as you want, those are the properties that I look out for. And then lastly, you just want to make sure you can make money on these products as well. So by that, you want to avoid selling anything in like the $50 to $100 range on AliExpress. In my opinion, the sweet spot for products is anywhere from $10 to $50 on AliExpress. Anything past $50 in AliExpress, you're looking at a 2 or 3x markup that's going to get you into pricing territory where people really start to think and consider their options. And you want to avoid that. Dropshipping works best when you can capitalize on people's impulse purchases or ability to impulse buy. And the second you get into the $100 and $150 range, you start to lose out on that. So those are the qualities that I look for in a product. In fact, this is a product that I actually would test. And what's great is when you're not doing clothing, home decor like that, like if we just type in golden stainless steel flatware, like products like these are actually very high quality. Like this is a good example. Why does it keep taking me to this Valentine's Day shit? I'm trying to click on the actual product. Yeah, there's got to be a way to disable that. I mean, that is so annoying. Let's see. Can we click on that? Okay, perfect. So this is an example of a product where the actual quality of the product, like you'd be surprised. There's some high quality stuff on AliExpress, and this has 3,000 units sold. Perfect sort of image and creative that we would look for because, again, the product really jumps out. This is something that's super attention grabbing, and it looks like a very high quality product as well. Here's another example of a product that I'm literally selling on my store right now. In fact, some dude ordered like $300 worth of these shoes. The image itself that I'm using is not that one. I think it might be this one here. Yeah, it might have been something like this where it's just like looks like a very high quality shoe. And again, you have that color contrast there for the actual photos themselves to really stand out. Okay. So those are the types of products that I look for. Try to give a little bit more detail into the product research process there. Now let's get into the actual store setup since you guys have been getting a lot of questions about that. So again, I love this. No holding back. The unfortunate thing with showing my store though, guys, is I get so much traffic, which causes a lot of my cost caps to overspend because this happens to me as well when I'm checking out my store. I get a lot of my own ads. So hopefully it's just something that I have to work around, but I'd rather just show you guys the entirety of the store. So the actual store setup itself, you want to structure it as kind of an everyday general store, but that doesn't mean because you're selling a general store and you have multiple products that you can't put some effort to actually make it look like a legitimate brand. So for example, my store that I set up was completely inspired by this company here called Aritzia. And this is a clothing store primarily. They're a clothing brand, but they sell other accessories. Yeah, as you can see, tons of other accessories predominantly in the clothing space. But as you can see, there's not a ton. This is not a complicated setup. It's a black and white color scheme. It's got a really cool logo, a text-based logo, and then you've just got a bunch of collections, right? This is how 90% of brands operate, by the way. Brands that sell problem solvers and have, crazy color schemes and crazy themes, those are in the minority of companies. Most companies have a very simple website, very user-friendly website. They're focused on just making it as easy of a customer or as seamless of a customer experience as possible. And so that's kind of what I'm focused on with my store here, is have a really clean logo, leverage a black and white color scheme, use a couple of different images to make it really appear branded. And then I just have my collections listed out exactly like this. And as you can see, I have all kinds of products on the store and it does not matter. People will buy from it anyways. Then from the actual setup itself on an individual product level, we're doing pretty standard stuff. Product description from ChatGPT, key features from ChatGPT, and then the size chart as well. You guys have asked a lot about clothing. So what I do generally is ship 2 sizes up just in case, but then I also try to make the size chart as comprehensive as possible as well. So you have your waist measurements, your hip measurements, and then your pant length measurements as well, and provide that in inches and centimeters. So if you're going to sell into the US or EU or other countries, you basically are trying to make this as foolproof as possible. And you can ask ChatGPT to give you size charts that make it as easy as possible for someone to measure themselves and then get the actual sizing that they want. So that's how I do it for clothing. And if you're someone who's like, you know what, no, I don't want to sell clothing, that's perfectly fine. Go sell some cutlery. Like, as you can see, this looks very similar to the cutlery that we just found on AliExpress. And this is a quality product, guys. The perceived value of it is a high quality product. And with flatware and other home decor items, you don't have to worry about like fit or anything, right? Now, obviously, you do have to be concerned with, things breaking in transit, but there's a lot less worries and a lot less headaches when it comes to selling these items, which is why I'm shifting a lot more into these kinds of categories to go in the lane of like an architecture, for example. Okay, so that's the store setup, very simple. And then the ad account setup, you guys should know this by now, or in my last couple of videos, if I haven't made it obvious, cost caps are the GOAT of product testing, and you can't convince me otherwise that there's a better way to test, because I've never seen results like the kinds of results I'm getting on these kinds of products, literally just using cost caps. So one thing that I am experimenting with, and I will have a follow-up video probably tomorrow, just depending on how performance goes, but I'm noticing, especially because I'm going public with this store and making YouTube content, I'm getting a ton of spend on some of my view attribution campaigns. So the reason why that's bad is, and what I believe is happening, is Meta is seeing all of these signals of people going to my site and flooding my website. And that's happening because I'm creating content on the website. And in Facebook's eyes, these are all visitors that are actually interested in my product. It doesn't have the context to know that these are people who are dropshippers and marketers who are watching my videos and going to my website to try and rip everything off, right? Which is fine. If you guys want to rip everything off, that's totally cool. This is literally just for the purposes of doing a cool case study. And so because of that, a lot of these view attribution campaigns, as you can see, are overspending. And this is fine because the urban camo joggers, for example, I believe like leading up to the weekend, were extremely profitable. And then I went basically public with the store. And then that's when, Saturday was a huge flop for the spend. And so what I've started to do now is go completely on view attribution, or go completely on click attribution. And as you can see, a lot of my click attributed campaigns are actually, they're spending about 50% less, but the performance is much, much better. So, I'm at a 5 return on ad spend. So pretty much all of these campaigns here that you see on multiple attribution settings. The reason for that is because I have, multiple, I had some 1-day click in there as well. But I'm seeing 7-day click right now be the healthiest balance of spend, or on cost caps, be the healthiest balance of spend and performance. So the performance on these ad sets is a 6x return on ad spend. So I probably have room to increase my cap a little bit on some of these, because right now I'm at my target CPA on some of these campaigns, or some of these ad sets rather, and I'm getting good performance. And I don't need a 7.27 return on ad spend. I would rather have a 2 return on ad spend, or I guess the question you could ask yourself is, to really demonstrate this, is would you rather have a 10 return on ad spend on 40 in spend, or a 3 return on ad spend on 4,000 in spend? And remember, guys, volume is the name of the game. You want to scale volume. No one cares about a 7+ return on ad spend. I care about how much profit I'm making, and I'm barely making anything on a 7 return on ad spend on $40 in spend. So what I am doing now is I'm testing all of these campaigns here, the 7-day click, 1-day view campaigns in particular, testing them out on 7-day click only. So no view attribution, to see if we can replicate some of this performance, because if we can, that is going to be great. I can increase my cost caps. So I can stomach a little bit less profitability and a little bit less return on ad spend. But the benefit of that is I'm going to be able to unlock way more spend and way more profitable spend by switching over everything to 7-day click. And then another thing that's going to help avoid is all of the organic traffic that I'm driving to this store because of the people watching my YouTube content. So that I need to avoid if I'm going to continue making this series, because it's happened to me in the past running on cost caps where they'll go from not spending anything. I make a video on a store and then boom, I'm over budget for that day. And it sucks because obviously I don't want to target my audience with my store. I want to go find customers so I can scale to $1,000 a day, so I can bring a case study and show you guys the possibility of this method. So with that said, I've already duplicated some campaigns out to test this on 7-day click only to see if we can get some similar performance. But as you guys know, the setup is very, very easy. We have 2 ad sets, completely broad targeting, worldwide countries list, US countries, or US. And then the ad setup we're using, a lot of you guys have asked like what the ad setup is. It's literally just AliExpress image. Now, obviously this is definitely attention grabbing, but we're targeting women only in this one. But hopefully you can kind of see the point I've been making on the product side, which is a lot of contrast here, right? The sweatpants themselves definitely stand out, like purely from a color standpoint against the background and then against the white newsfeed. This is something that will instantly pop out and that you'll instantly be able to recognize as well. So it has those 2 things going for it. I use my product description as the ad copy, and then I use my headline, my product title as the headline. Very, very simple setup. And with this, I'm able to test. I mean, you could literally set up 20 to 30 campaigns for 20 to 30 products right now. And what's great is you can see on the 25th, even though I spent 346, the spend levels across the board were drastically different. And at the time, these were all at $100 a day. So you're going to see some products like the Fierce Fit leggings here spend only $13 a day, right? But if I click in and show you guys some performance leading up to that, right? We had a high volume of conversions. In fact, if we go to, let's go to the 24th here. Let's see, 23rd. Yeah, so the 24th and the 23rd and 24th, we're getting very consistent spend, right? And then Saturday, right? Boom, $13 in spend. And that is the cost cap working its magic for you. The cost cap is adjusting your spend against the available demand of conversions at your target CPA, right? So my target here, I'm actually not sure what the target cap was on this. Let me check. So we're at 24.18 and then 28.57 on the campaign. So we're at 27.90 on the cost cap, right? So we're coming in just slightly over on that cost cap, right? And so the 23rd, we're hitting it, right? 24th, we're coming in underneath it, right? And then on Saturday, but what essentially happens is Facebook goes, okay, the available supply of purchases at your target CPA is not as high as it was on the 24th and the 23rd. Therefore, I will not spend. And so I went from hitting, 40 to 50% of my daily budget to now only hitting 13% of my daily budget at $100 a day. And that is the beauty of the cost cap. And that is the beauty and that is the performance that you're going to be able to expect when you run cost caps. And that is why on Saturday, I literally did not check any of my ads. I can literally just go to the store. In fact, I went out to like a nice restaurant. I was just chilling the entire day, and I don't have to worry about that because I know if I'm seeing sales on my phone, which I was seeing them like a ton, I'm like, oh, okay, I have confidence. Like I'm spending, but I'm probably hitting my target. And then I came in and I checked like, yeah, we're at above 2+ return on ad spend. And the way I set up my margins, 2+ is phenomenal. And then same thing if I'm not getting conversions, like today is a little bit of a slower day. Perfect. I've only spent like $60 on ads. It's like beautiful, right? So that is the power of the cost caps. And that is something that you have to get used to, which is why if you do run them, you got to give things at least 3 days, right? This is a perfect example. When you're running cost caps, if you're not used to them, look at this. We went over budget on that day on the 23rd, right? And we got conversions only $1 more expensive than our target CPA. Then on the 24th, right? A little bit less spend, right? And then today, a little bit less spend, right? And then if we bring this over to Sunday, I think we got some decent spend on this. Okay, so spend kind of modulated and kind of dropped back down. But that's why I want to experiment with using the 7-day click only attribution window. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I'm getting much better performance right now on click only against 7-day click 1-day view. And especially with me making content on the store, I'm going to have to do something about all of the view attribution that I'm definitely going to try, that the Facebook's definitely going to try and give me because of all the views that I'm getting on the store. So that's going to do it for this video. Just again, wanted to do a little bit of a longer detailed breakdown of exactly what I'm doing as a follow-up to my previous video, trying to be as transparent as possible, show you guys literally everything that I'm doing. Again, every single dropshipping YouTuber tells you that there's only a couple that actually show their real stores, but everyone tells you they've got the sauce. They want to be as transparent as possible. And I was one of those guys too. And then I would have a bunch of blurs on my screen, and I still want to keep certain stores private. I think you guys understand that. But in terms of me demonstrating what's working well and trying to instruct you guys on how to actually set things up, I think it only makes sense for me to actually just show you the entire thing, especially when I don't really have concerns about people copying me, because this is not like, I'm not trying to hit a home run with this store by any means. I'm realistically just trying to show you what I believe to be the most powerful and most effective system for starting a profitable dropshipping business and making your first sales online and easily scaling up to $1,000 a day on autopilot. Because guys, if I add I only have 8 campaigns here, right? So if I was to get, if I was just to double the amount of campaigns that I have running, double the amount of products I have in the ad account, all with cost cap set to target, I could easily hit $1,000 a day. In fact, let me know if you guys want to see me scaling this store up to $1,000 a day, and I'll do my best to do that this week. And then I'll do another video on this channel showcasing that. And then hopefully I can actually convince some of you guys that this is the best way to start and scale a profitable dropshipping business. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you did, and a comment down below if you've been able to test the strategy out. Now, if you want to see more inside access as to how exactly I'm setting the store up on the back end, more details into how I'm setting my cost caps, how I'm picking products, all that good stuff, then check out the first link in the description to join my private course community, God Tier Ecom. Enrollment is open for 2025. We're trying to make a push to win the school games, which means the price is the lowest it will ever be. And if you join today, you will lock in your price at the lowest price that the community will ever be. So when you join, you get access to my complete masterclass that shows you how to do everything I did in this video in more detail. 3 weekly Q&As. In fact, we've got one coming up later today that I got to get prepped for and stop recording now. You get a free one-on-one coaching call, and there's monthly workshops where we'll dive into specific topics. I'll show you products that I personally would test, or show you how I set up my stores and things like that. All the recordings are available for access as well. And there's over $1,000 worth of free shared spy tool accounts, resources, Lumen theme, my image templates, pretty much everything that you would need to start a profitable dropshipping business in 2025. On top of that, there's a 7-day money back guarantee. So if you join and you hate it, you can get your money back, no questions asked. So if you want access to all of that and you want to check it out and learn more, first link in the description. Otherwise, again, hope you got an incredible amount of value out of this video. Hope you enjoyed. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching this, hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace.